name is Courtney, and I am very passionate about helping women with invisible illnesses realize that you can still lead a healthy and active lifestyle. It's just not going to be the one you had envisioned for yourself, but the time is going to pass regardless. And what the hell else are you going to do about it? And yes, I'm in new digs. I have made it to Tyler finally, and I'm staying at a friend's house, and they are so gracious to open their guest house to me. And excuse me, and I'm just really happy. It's a really super cozy space, and I like it a lot. I don't know if y'all can tell, but it's a log cabin. And being an Alaskan, I find it very amusing that I'm in Texas in a log cabin. But anyway, one of the biggest things that has changed my life and helped me deal with my health situation is a sense of gratitude. And I got to tell you, it's not something that comes naturally to me. And in fact, I used to feel really sorry for myself because of my situation. And I remember one day sitting around and, oh, poor, pitiful Pearl. And why is this happening to me? And why me? And all of a sudden, I had a moment of clarity, and it was, why not me? What the hell would make me exempt from life? You know what the answer to that is? Nothing. This is just life. And there's a lot, as crappy as my health situation is, there are millions of people out there who would love to trade places with me and would love to be as relatively healthy as I am. And once I had that realization, I started to be a lot more grateful. And gratitude, being grateful really changed my life because it changed my perspective. So let's talk about some science backed benefits of gratitude. This information is from Psychology Today. Now, before we get started, I have to tell you, I think this is important for everybody. But I think those of us with health issues, I really believe it is essential that you develop a sense of gratitude, because otherwise, it's easy to let this crap overwhelm you. It's easy to get consumed by the unfairness of it. And yeah, okay, it is unfair, but so what? Life isn't fair. Whoever told you life was fair lied to you. You have to find a way to deal with this, and learning how to focus on the positive, learning how to be grateful in the face of your adversity is, in my opinion, one of the best things you can learn to do for yourself. So, let's get into it. Number one, being grateful helps foster relationships. Why? Because we all like to be acknowledged. We like people who like us. And when you take a moment to express a little gratitude, it automatically makes you more likable. Your stock is going to go up with that person. Number two, it's good for your physical health. There was a study done in 2012. Grateful people have less aches and pains. Hello. I have two chronic pain conditions. Imagine where I would be if I didn't have a sense of gratitude. People who are grateful are more likely to exercise and to eat well. And I will tell you, when I am hurting and I exercise, and people ask me all the time, how do you do it? Like, I don't know. I really don't sometimes, but when I get into it, I really love what I do for exercise. And it doesn't take long, even on a really high pain day, before I'm like, you know what? I'm really grateful that I have this opportunity, that I am capable of making the choice to get up and move instead of sitting around hurting and feeling sorry for myself. Because, side note, if you have a chronic pain condition, the worst thing on earth you can do is sit on your ass and feel sorry for yourself. I know you don't want to hear it, but you've got to get up and move. Now, I'm not telling you you've got to exercise as much as I do, but I am telling you, go for a walk. Go for even just a 5-minute walk. Hell, if that's too much, do a 2-minute walk today. Every single person, which unfortunately is a small number, but every person with fibromyalgia that I have convinced to start exercising has come back to me and said, oh my gosh, you were right. I know I'm right because I've been there. I know exactly what they're going through. For me, exercise is probably the thing that led to my sense of gratitude. And it does every single day that I exercise, which is pretty much every day. I get a tremendous sense of gratitude. You know why? Because I'm capable of making that choice, because I'm not a bedridden pill popper. Y'all, I came this close to that life. I really did. And I'm not there. And I am so freaking grateful for that. I went to a rheumatologist in Anchorage a long, long time ago, and I wasn't nearly as active then as I am now. And he said to me, "Yeah, I wish I could get all my fibromyalgia patients to be as active as you are. And I got to ask you, what keeps you going?" And I said, "Well, doc, I'll be honest. I'm too scared that if I stop, I'll never start again." And he smiled at me and he said, "You won't. So don't quit." That's that's my motivation. That's what gives me a lot of gratitude, because I'm capable of making that choice. Anyway, I could go on that for a long time. Number 3, excuse me, gratitude is also really good for our mental health. It reduces a lot of our uncomfortable emotions, including envy, resentment, frustration, and regret. And you notice I said uncomfortable, not negative. You know why? Because all of those emotions, they serve a purpose. Our emotions, it's just a chemical reaction in your brain. It's There's not any emotion out there that's really either good or bad. It's what value we assign to them. So when you're dealing with unpleasant emotions, instead of telling yourself this is really negative or this is bad, just tell yourself this is unpleasant, this is uncomfortable, but it serves a purpose. That's really been beneficial for me anyway. But multiple studies link a sense of gratitude to mental well-being. Grateful people are just happier. Well, of course they are. When you're looking at the positives in your life instead of focusing on the unpleasantries in your life, of course you're going to be happier. Number 4, grateful people are less likely to be jerks. They're less likely to retaliate against others. A sense of gratitude leads to more sympathy, less aggression, a bigger sense of empathy. Number 5, gratitude can improve your sleep. There was a study done in 2011 that links better sleep with a gratitude journal. So just spend a couple of minutes each night jotting down things that you're grateful for. Sorry, my hair is like all over today. If you're struggling, and I went through a phase where this is so bad. It sounds so bad, but I went through a phase where I don't have anything to be grateful for. Well, that's such a load of crap. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. But when I was in that stage, I was like, okay, I have a roof over my head. That's something to be grateful for. That puts me ahead of millions of people on this planet. I have running water. That's something to be really grateful for. I grew up in Alaska. We have entire communities that don't have running water. What do you think happens when you're in a community that has no running water and your house catches on fire? It's not good. Number 3, you have electricity. That is such a blessing, and it's something we take for granted in the Western world. And some of you heard this story before, but I used to babysit for a woman, and she had adopted 2 little boys. The younger one was from India, and when he first came here, he was 5. Oh my goodness, he was the most beautiful little boy. He was fascinated and obsessed with running water and electricity. And he would go into the bathroom and he would just flush the toilet over and over and over. And he would watch it go down, and he'd look up at you and he'd just laugh and laugh and laugh. Then when he got tired of that, he'd go to the light. I can't believe none of us ever had a seizure. Seriously. He'd go to the light switch and just flip the light switch on and off as fast as he could go. He'd never seen that before. So if you have those things, you really should be grateful. Those are things we take for granted, but you know what? Those are big things. Number 6, gratitude boosts your self esteem. A 2014 study in the Journal of Applied Sports Psychology showed that gratitude increased confidence in athletes, which is an essential aspect of performance. Other studies have shown that a sense of gratitude helps curb social comparisons. You want to make yourself unhappy? Compare yourself to other people. It's the best way to rob yourself of happiness. And it's such a, I almost cuss, it's such a BS comparison, because you don't know what's going on in that person's life. You're looking at an outside picture, and you're probably looking at like their chapter 40, whereas you might be on chapter 3. Well, of course, you're going to come up short in that comparison. And again, you don't have any idea what goes on behind closed doors. All you know is what they've chosen to share with the world. So you really, if you just have to compare yourself to other people, Compare yourself to people who are less fortunate than you are. Why? Because it's going to help you remember to be grateful for the blessings in your life. You need to get to a point where you can appreciate someone else's accomplishments instead of being envious. And you know what'll get you there? Gratitude. Finally, number 7, gratitude increases our mental fortitude. Numerous studies have shown that gratitude has a tremendous impact on overcoming trauma. Why? Because you learn how to focus on the positive things in your life. The ability to be grateful when things are rough, it builds resilience. And if you know me at all, you know I am a very freaking resilient person. Um, but when my aunt passed away, at that point, it was the biggest loss I'd had in my life, and it was devastating. And then, and it happened again when my mom passed, which of course was a bigger loss. But through the grief and through all of the agony that went with those losses, I did find things in the aftermath to be really grateful for. Now, do I still miss both of them? Hell yes, absolutely, and I always will. But I'm very grateful for the fact that I'm able to look at both of these situations, and as hard as they were, I'm able to appreciate some of the blessings that I got from both things, some of the lessons that I learned, some of the relationships that deepened for me. Because you know what? If you'll allow it, that's what's going to happen when things get really tough. Anyway, that's all I have for tonight. I always appreciate y'all's time. If you have any questions, drop me a line. I try to be very responsive, and I will be back Wednesday at 7 o'clock Central. Thanks. Bye.